Cool. Is that it? Yes. Okay. Awesome. Oh, that's the wrong window. Okay, let's just pretend you didn't see the YouTube stuff and let's get right into it. Anyway, so there hasn't been a lot of activity on my end, or not a lot of visible activity on my end. Nothing uploaded to YouTube as of late. And that's actually because I've been working on a lot of 1/10 scale stuff. And as you can see, you see a lot more of my background today. Thanks to daylight savings, it's 6:30 and still light outside, so I was going to go for a quick drive with the cars, but I decided it's Monday and I needed to get some YouTube content out. Now, there's a reason why there's all this space here, and that's because we have a larger vehicle here. So let's bring this up. This is a Gmade GOM, and this is so big I'm having to move everything off my desk. So even though this is 1/10 scale, in terms of size, it's about the size of my UDR from Traxxas, and that's about 1/7, 1/8 scale. So that should give you an idea. Like, it doesn't even fit on the camera. And my arm, let's get my arm in view. There's my elbow, and you can see the beginning of my arm there. So your arm's going to be different size, but that should give you a general idea. I don't have the proper recording setup here to really be able to show this off, but maybe I can move it back a bit. Yeah, okay. So it's done up in my my normal colours, which is black around the side with metal flake and red on the top. And I've added some of the Gmade stickers just to make things nice. And as you can see, there's a lot of dirt on this because I actually took this out crawling. Little battery bay in here. This has been a lot of fun. I do have the Kyosho Mini Z crawlers and they're great, but I've actually got some really awesome crawling spots near me. And they all need something with a bit of a longer wheelbase, so to speak. And this has been great for that. I've got the Gmade shocks on there, a lot of suspension, significant amount of travel. That's almost a wheel high, basically. Drop it from great heights and it just keeps on going. It can roll upside down. This is only going to be a very, very quick review of this kit because this channel is mainly focused on Mini Z. So if you want more 1/10 scale stuff, let me know. But there are some good parts and there's some bad parts about this. So the good thing is this actually is 2-speed and also includes a dig unit. Now the dig unit will actually lock the rears but allow the front wheels to keep on rotating. Or if you get it in just the right spot, it will actually allow the rear wheels to just freewheel. And this is really, really good when you're up like this and you're climbing and you just want to drag the rear wheels right up to whatever rock you're on and then give it a bit of squirt of power to jump up. So this is actually a rock bouncer chassis, and the idea is you just give it a lot of power and you bounce up things, and it does that very, very well. It was actually a funny chassis to build in that you can probably see remnants of it. It gave me a significant amount of blisters. The plastic on this is very, very hard, and the screws are very, very difficult to get in. But once they're in, they stay very, very well. The fitment around some parts was not bad, but not ideal. This plastic sheet up here for the front cover, for example, needed quite a bit of trimming. But apart from that, it's been pretty good and reliable. It's mostly stock. It's only going to get 1 or 2 minor upgrades. One of those is going to be foams in the tyres because, as you can see, it flexes like crazy. And I was crawling around some giant tree roots that are bigger than this thing, if you would believe it. So tree roots that are literally that big. Very, very tall, very, very old trees. And when it was up on the side like that, the sidewall was not holding on the tyres and it was actually just slipping down. So dual stage foams are definitely on the table. These are actually beadlock rims that they come with this. And basically I got this for an incredible price off RC Mart. Heavily, heavily discounted without electronics. Totally fine because I had a whole lot of electronics on board. In fact, probably the more interesting thing I've done here is, yes, I've used a T-Con servo in the front at least, which I probably didn't need to, but it was the only high-performance servo I had laying around. And in here we've got a Hobby Wing Quick Run Fusion, the 18,000 kV. I had to modify the chassis a bit to get that to fit in, if I can. So as you can see there's a bit of, it doesn't look too bad on camera, but I've actually had to shave that down with a Dremel, and that was a lot of fun. Oh, come on, camera, focus. It's not going to do it today. That's fine. Yeah, and that's been incredibly good. This motor for crawling is with the field orientated control is exceptional. This is definitely one of the things I'd love to see on the Mini Z's is an all-in-one unit, which would be nice, or FOC-based ESCs, because this can crawl in a speed measured in centimeters per second. In fact, I think you can crawl this at 5 millimeters per second, which is like that, basically. It's just absolutely blows my mind how good this motor has been. I did have an issue with the diff case. It doesn't sit perfectly flat, but I have filled that up with, I don't have it handy, Cow RC green goop, which should keep all the dirt and dust out, because I have heard of people getting dirt and dust in there. Apart from that, it does come with bucket seats in the front here. Bring your own figurine, fits in pretty easily. It's just been a very, very nice, reliable kit. Not perfect, but for the price I got it at, absolute steal, and a great way to basically get into the hobby and have a bit of fun. As I said, I'm not going to upgrade this too much. There aren't a lot of upgrades for it, but it does everything I need, and it means I'm not too worried about like crashing it. I do love this sparkle paint. It looks absolutely spectacular in real life, which is why I do the black with the red on top. Yeah, so this has been a big project. This took me about 2 weeks to build. Not last week, because last week I was working on a different project I'll be making another video in a couple of minutes about. But this has basically been occupying a lot of my time, and actually one of the reasons why I haven't uploaded. Stupid lights. Okay, so the other one we have, which should look a bit more familiar to everyone, is all my electronics arrived at once, basically. So this gave me an opportunity to finally finish building the Kyosho Phantom, which is a chain-driven four-wheel drive pan car. There's a bit of flex at the back here, but unlike most pan cars, it doesn't have any suspension up here. It does have the holes to add that if you want, but I've chosen not to. I drive this around on concrete downstairs in my garage, and it works pretty well for that. Not the best wiring job, but to be honest, I don't care too much. The biggest issue with this has actually been finding a battery that fits. So I've been actually running it with 3S packs. Do I have one handy? Actually, I did take it out earlier. Most of my 3S packs I've been running in the other project I did last week, so we'll talk about that later. So just a 3S pack, and that slides into there. The big caveat, of course, is you've got a chain here, and so this has got some really, really bad fiberglass tape on there to help protect the battery. And I bought a whole of extra fiberglass tape after this, just because it's generally handy stuff to have. And of course, I love the RC Mart cable stuff. I've got so many spools of this, and it's been an absolute lifesaver. Even though the chain rubs on the top here, it's done a bit of damage there, but it's generally pretty good. I'm actually surprised at how effectively this works. And this entire chassis, I've been very, very surprised at just how good it is. I don't know if it's the best, but to be honest, this chassis has been so much fun, I don't really care. I saw RC Kicks do a review on it, and he seemed to love it, and I held out for a good couple of months, and then I think he came back to it and did something with it. And at that point I went off and bought one. You can see we've got just a heatsink fan there. And once again, this is all Tekin kit. I do like my Tekin stuff, and it's not because it's necessarily the best, but just because I like to keep all my electronics consistent. It makes debugging, fixing things, and if you've got programming cables, it's a lot more consistent. Well, I did plug in the drag brake on this. One of the interesting things about this is it has a one-way diff in it, so if I rotate it the other way, it just freewheels. So handles really, really, really brilliantly, and surprisingly a very, very capable drift chassis if you have very, very polished and smooth cement. So I do take this down on occasion at lunch and just give it a good half hour, and that's been a lot of fun. The biggest problem I had was the servo is very, very tiny. Although it turns out these R6 servos are exceptional for this sort of servo size, and so I actually ended up buying a whole lot more. In fact, now that I'm doing a lot more 1/10 scale, I've had to go up and buy commercial quantities of 1/10 scale servos, which has been entertaining because I have made various comments on Twitter that I buy commercial quantities of servos, normally 5 to 10 servos at a time, and this just forced me to buy even more. So it does have an adjustable diff. Is it this side? Yeah, it's this side. You can actually tighten the diff on this side without having to do a full disassembly. And I've got it fair, or I'd say about a medium at the moment. I do actually have a proper diff tester from SkyRC, so I can actually go off and measure that. I haven't quite got to that point yet, but on the Mini Z side I sort of have. So with the diff tester, you put it in and then you do some testing, whatever, and it gives you a number. And it means if you want to reproduce that setup, you only have to keep on tightening till you get that number from the diff tester. So looking forward to using that a lot more, which will be quite good. So I had this one done probably about a month ago. I had wanted to do a review on it, but I've been trying to avoid doing too much 1/10 scale stuff on stream, or any, basically. But I'm getting the occasional comment now, and especially in terms of channel growth, that seems like a very, very good way to grow the channel a bit. But to be honest, a lot of it has to do with a lot of people copying my style on YouTube, and so it may be worth branching out and doing a couple other different things. I would like to bring back my fully edited videos at some point, once I've got some more stuff in there to make that a bit less time and cost prohibitive. So, yep, fun little device. I haven't got the body for it. It's actually, the body's just sitting down there, waiting to be masked off. The masking job on the body for this is actually, for the paint job I want to do, very, very difficult, but we'll get to that and get that sorted, if not this year, in January. Yeah, okay, so what's next on the agenda? We are, 10 minutes in? I'm going to cut that there. If you are interested in either two of those chassis, let me know and I can do some on that and get some footage up there, or if you just want me to do the Mini Z stuff, feel free to yell at me about all this stupid stuff. And now I've got tire marks all over the desk. You probably can't see it, but I've been doing a lot of building here, and I've got like shock grease and oil and everything. It's actually kind of slimy on here now, which is not good because the computer's right there. Cool, so this is not a mouse, but let's bring the mouse down and I will shoot another video and see you all shortly. Thanks for joining me.